This message is for those out there that are just beginning to embrace a new title. And this title is not one that you are used to. Okay. This title that you may be embracing at this time is connected to an energy that you have known about yourself for quite some time. You've always known that you were intuitive. You've always known that you've had intuitive abilities, gifts. Some of you, as we say, you rock with all the clairs, clairvoyance, clairsentient, clairaudient. You've had these abilities for quite some time. People may have seen these abilities in you, yet they kept them quiet. In fact, some of these abilities for some of you were forced to be dormant within, because the more you came in tune with those gifts, the more intimidated people became of you. Okay. Many of you may not even known that people were intimidated by you. It was these gifts that you have as a high priest, high priestess. And even as we speak, even as I say the words high priest, high priestess, some of you are still very much uncomfortable with that term, because you're someone who walks with humility. You're very humble. You're not someone who shows your talents, your skills, just for the sake of showing off. In fact, that's never been your style. Humility has been more of your style. And I'm bringing this message because many of you have had people, individuals in your life speak on that. Many of you have had people in your life who have been tasked to keep your gifts dormant. Okay. And whether or not they were given these tasks by someone, or they just took on these tasks themselves, they still had the task of keeping your gifts dormant. It was their responsibility to assure that you didn't come to your full power. You didn't come to know how powerful you are as someone who is connected to nature. You're connected to all the elements. Okay, you are someone who's an empath. Like, your gifts are extraordinary. And there is actually a high priest or high priestess born into every family. Every family has one. Someone who is meant to enlighten and bring light into that family. And at the same time, that person who is meant to bring light, they go through a lot. You've been through a lot. All right. So the people that made it their business took on the task to keep your identity from you, to keep your identity hidden, to keep you from knowing the full extent of your power. Whether they took on these tasks or not, they did so because they knew one day how powerful you would become. And they know that with this power, their intentions, their energy would also be exposed as a result of your elevation, as a result of you coming into your power and knowing who you are. A lot of people are going to be exposed. They are being exposed at this time. And so for many of you, a lot of the trials and tribulations that you went through at a younger age, and some of you are still actually coming from those experiences, and it's like you're just getting your head above water at this time. A lot of those experiences that you've had was meant to keep you dormant, and you managed to rise above them. And so those people who made it their business, who took on the task to keep your gifts and your powers dormant at this time, they are very much afraid. They are concerned, they are afraid, they don't know what to do, because all of that they've done to keep your gifts dormant, you are beginning to uncover. Okay, you're beginning to put the pieces together, and those folks that have operating in secrecy to keep your power hidden from you. In fact, they made it their business to make you feel less than, because it was the only way that they can keep your gifts dormant. Well, all of this information is being exposed, and they know this. They're very much aware of your awareness of them and their deceitful ways and their betrayal. So a lot of light is being shed on those that were not always honest with you, those that made it their business to keep you in a position where you were not supposed to know the full extent of your power. You are a chosen one. You are a chosen seed. This means that you've been given gifts and abilities by your spirit guides to fulfill a very specific mission on this planet. And part of accepting this, it also means that you are becoming aware of the people that you may have been, these karmic friends, karmic families that you may have been born into these families, and you came in contact with these friendships. You are beginning to make sense of those things, and those things, as much as they were very challenging in your life, just know that the divine allowed those people into your space for your growth, because many of you, it was the trial, the challenges that made you a lot more stronger than you are now. It was the trials and challenges that took you out of this energy of naivety, because your energy is very pure. You have really good intentions. And part of the lesson that you get to learn as a chosen seed is to know that as good of intentions that you have, and as much of a power that you have, not everyone is going to reciprocate that same energy towards you. And the challenges that you experienced needed to be experienced in order for you to come in tune with that reality, because many of you were shaken up by these by the experiences that you had with these karmic friends, karmic families, these karmic relationships. You had to experience them to some extent in order for you to be aware, in order for you to be awakened, to your own power. And the awakening that you experience, for many of you, may have been one of the first experiences that you had to your power as a chosen seed. So your power was awakened because of these relationships that you essentially were awakened from. So as you are walking in your power a lot more, you're going to also see that a lot of things, a lot of experiences, relationships are going to be making a lot more sense. You're going to be overstanding and seeing these people that, for some of you, they're still in your surrounding. You're going to be seeing them different. And it is your responsibility as someone who has learned from those past experiences to take what you have learned and apply them, because you are at a point where you are no longer naive about the world and the way the world functions. You are now in a space where you understand that as much of an energy of light as you are, there exists in this world the polarity, okay? That as much light as there is also energies that operate in the shadows. So use that energy that you've learned, alchemize, and become your greatest self. And again, some of you are high priests and high priestesses. So this means that you get to be clear in using your intuition, using your intuitive gifts and the gifts that you've been given to elevate yourself, to protect yourself, and to move forward in your purpose. There's so much more in store for you. Okay? So remember who you are. Remember the lessons you've learned. Remember that there is a position that you hold. You hold a very high rank in the spirit realm. And although the physical realm may not always embrace that rank, that it's essentially, they're just beginning to catch up to your power. Okay? Those that fail to embrace the importance and the power of the spirit realm may essentially one day come into knowing, come into this knowing. Yet you, the trailblazer as you are, know that you set the tone. Okay, continue to elevate, continue to live in your power. Peace, love, and divine light.